what's playing through my mind right now?
What?
Like I'm having the very clear flashback.
Hmm.
Pain.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude. That is probably one of the craziest stories of my entire lifetime. And it happened how many days ago?
It was 1 week ago, exactly. Or, well,
Oh.
yeah.
Was exactly 1 week ago. That's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
A
I've been
little-
wanting to
little
talk
bit
about
less.
this for so long,
Yeah.
dude. Like I've been excited. I've already told so many people about this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, granted, so many people for me is like 4.
Well, okay, that's kind of sad.
Well, no, but that's just because I don't like to
Well, yeah,
put
like
everything
the
out
whole,
there.
it's a, I mean, I wouldn't say it's a long story, but it's a crazy story. And it's a story that,
I'm going to tell right now.
yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, as some of you may have known from the song I was just singing, we indeed went to the Travis Scott concert.
And you can also tell, T-shirts.
Repping the merch, repping
Yeah.
the merch. By the way, I had to stand in line for a long time for this, but we'll get to that. But now, the story you have all been waiting for. What happened at the Travis Scott concert? So, I guess rewind first to when we went to the Lil Yachty concert and it got canceled. Okay? At that moment, we talked about it on the first episode too, and we said, oh, it sucks, it's terrible. But then on the second episode, or rather on the first episode, we did say that you shouldn't jump to conclusions too soon. Then on the second episode, we said we got a refund, so it's all good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now fast forward and we decide, oh my God, we want to go see Travis Scott. Me, my brother over here, and 2 of our friends were like, okay, let's go. We went to buy tickets, and of course they were super, super expensive because all American artists only tour 2 places in Canada, Vancouver and Toronto. We live in Vancouver, so we wanted to go to the Vancouver show. But obviously the tickets are going to be super expensive. So when we looked, there were lower bowl tickets, upper bowl tickets, all for around $600 to $1,000. Super, super ridiculous prices. But we thought, okay, we're going to wait closer and closer to the concert day, and then the prices will continue to drop. And we were right. They started dropping. And on the day of the concert, at around 2 p.m., the concert starts at
7, I think. Or 8.
8 p.m. And at around 2 p.m., we found tickets for lower bowl, not the best angle, I'd say, but for $360? Yeah,
Something like that. Yeah.
$360. And we thought, oh my God, that's actually not bad. Let's cop it. But then our friend was like, oh, I don't know if my parents want me spending $300 on a concert. So we were like, okay, we'll wait and see if they go down more. Plot twist, 2 hours before the concert. This is now around 6 p.m. We're sitting in our bedrooms, all of us respectively, and we look at the ticket prices. We're scrolling through every single website, you name it. Ticketmaster, SeatGeek, StubHub, Game Time, everything. I was looking at tickets. I couldn't find anything because everyone jacked up the prices in the last 2 hours, which I didn't expect. I thought they were going to drop it so they could sell it, but I was wrong. They jacked it up in the last 2 hours because if you want to go to Travis Scott, you got to buy a ticket, so you'd be willing to spend more money, right? And at this point, we're starting to get desperate. We're like, oh my God, I'd even spend $370 now, which is crazy. But yeah, in the end, we tried to book tickets because we found a good one, and it didn't work because our card declined. So then I told my friend to try and buy them through PayPal, and then he went to buy them and said, oh, I got tickets, we're good. So we hop in the car, pick up our homie, and then we start driving to the SkyTrain station so that we can SkyTrain down to Vancouver and then go see the concert, right? And our friend, who was already near the stadium because he was there for something else, he was the one who bought the tickets, calls us when we get into the car and we're on our way to the station and says, yo, it said I had the tickets, but the payment declined. So that means that I don't have the tickets anymore. And at this point, all 3 of us are like, what the hell? Are we about to drive to the station with no tickets? We said, you know what? It's only 15 minutes away. We're better off going there rather than risking being super, super late, even if we do get tickets, right? So we drive to the station, and then we get on the train, and we start heading towards Rogers Arena. And when we're on the train, we keep calling our friend like, yo, dude, were you able to get tickets? He's like, no, dude, my card's not working. My dad's card's not working. It's over. Like, there's no way. And we're just sitting there in complete despair. I'd actually argue that I was in complete despair. I was there staring at the floor like this, bro.
And I was trying to bring back because we try to live a positive life, right? And sometimes it's difficult to do that with things that happen. But I was like, come on, we're on this path of being happy and enjoying life. So even if we don't get it, so what, right? Think about it as a transaction, right? You're spending how much money to go and see Travis Scott. So if you don't go and see Travis Scott, you also don't lose your money, right? So your bank account doesn't take a hit and you don't get the experience, right? So I was trying to find some kind of positive thing out of it. But this guy was just done. He had given up. He was depressed as hell, just sitting there on the train.
Because it's not the first time this has happened before. It's like
Yeah.
this is the third concert that we've gone to where we've had like issues. But again, this time it was actually on us and not somebody else. Like
Yeah.
with Lil Yachty and also with Breakout, that was completely different because it had nothing to do with us,
Exactly.
right? But the thing is, I was sitting there because I was telling them from the very beginning, no matter what, dude, I want to go to Travis Scott. I want to go to Travis Scott. I'm going to go to Travis Scott. I'm manifesting it in my brain. I'm like, oh, I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to make it happen. Going to make it happen no matter what. These guys had already given up. My brother and my homie, they're sitting there like, bro, let's just go downtown and eat something and just hang out and have a good time. And honestly, I was starting to accept it. But I said, nah, there's no way I can do that. I have to go to Travis Scott. I don't want to, go all the way downtown to not do something that I've been wanting to do for months. Because I thought about this, like going to the concert for months, because we'll talk about this guy a lot, but he's another homie that I wish I could get on the podcast, but he's not here anymore. But shout out the GOAT, Tommaso. If you're watching this, somewhere in Italy, hopefully, because he went on vacation to Spain recently,
Yeah,
I think.
so I was in Spain.
But I'm hoping that he sees this video. But he's an Italian exchange student, and he was actually living in our house for like 6 months or so. And yeah, he was the GOAT. And you know how Travis Scott had like the big concert in Italy that he
Yeah,
was
I
supposed to
know.
do in Egypt, right?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was supposed to do like a big concert, like announcing his tour in Egypt, but then he couldn't do it for some reason. I don't really remember what it was. But he had to cancel the trip in Egypt, so he did it in Italy, in Rome.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that was at the Colosseum. No,
I don't
not the
know, but I
Colosseum.
doubt
It
it,
was
yeah.
at some sort of like historical
Well, yeah,
site thing.
but
It was huge,
interesting, yeah.
right?
Oh,
And
yeah,
I
I've
remember
seen video.
Tommaso sent me a video of him there moshing and going crazy. I was like, no way he's at the Travis Scott concert, right? And then, just out of curiosity, I went on YouTube and I actually looked up the Travis Scott performance to see if people posted videos to it. And I found an hour-long video, or maybe it was more than an hour, but it was the entire set list. And I watched a lot of it. Maybe not the whole thing, obviously.
Yeah.
But I was like skipping through songs and I was watching a lot of it. And I was like, man, I really wish I could be there. So I thought about it and I dreamt about it for a long time. So I wasn't about to let this dream of mine die. All right, I was in my head. I was not giving up, no matter what. Okay, but as we got closer and closer to the arena, still no tickets. We get off the train and meet up with our other homie who's there. We're standing on the SkyTrain platform, all depressed as well. I'd say I was the most depressed, but we were all just thinking, man, we don't get to see Travis Scott, and the arena is right there, right outside the
We
station.
are looking at the arena. We're staring at the arena, standing there on the platform. Like, we see it. It is right there.
I can practically breathe in the concert excitement that is brewing from the people in the lines there.
Yeah.
I can feel it, and yet I can't go. And then I called my dad, actually, and I was like, yo, do you think I should check Ticketmaster one last time? He was like, well, I trust Ticketmaster, so go ahead. Just give it a shot. So I opened Ticketmaster up. I'm scrolling through the seats. Everything's 1,000, 600, 900. It's ridiculous. As I'm about to give up and close the app, I take one last look, one last refresh. Ding! 6 blue seats pop up. And blue seats mean it's sold by the arena, not a verified reseller. So they're not selling it for an insane markup. They're selling it at the retail price the arena would sell it for. And that was lower bowl, row 8, in a good section for $200. $200 for a lower bowl, row 8. Beautiful seating, okay? Beautiful, close to the stage. It was perfect. And I'm like, guys, oh my God. And I start selecting the seats one by one because it didn't even let you select as a group, which was so stressful. I'm clicking one by one, and I get the 4 seats, go to checkout. And by the way, my card had already messed up trying to buy tickets on Game Time, so I was worried it wasn't going to go through again. Then I was like, okay, finally, I'll do it. Go, use the card. My brother's reading my card numbers out loud in the middle of the SkyTrain
on the
station.
platform, bro. Like, the adrenaline was getting me. I was like, we actually have a shot at this. So I just started reading out all the credit card numbers out loud. And I was like, wait, hold up a minute. Like, I'm yelling this guy's credit card information out loud to everybody.
Yeah, and then
Oh,
we sent the payment through, and I'm sitting there. We're all huddled up in a circle like this in the rain, standing there praying to God that this works. Then I get the notification. Your tickets have come through. And I click on it to see if we got the barcode. It pops up saying that everything went through. The 4 of us jumped up and down and just started screaming, straight up screaming, going, oh my God, we got it, we're going to Travis Scott, oh my God. And we start running out of the SkyTrain station, because at this point we're already late to get in, because we got there at what? 7:30,
7:30ish. Yeah.
7:30ish, right? Oh yeah, maybe like 7:15 actually. It's probably more accurate.
Maybe,
But
yeah.
we got there and the show starts in 45 minutes, right? And we want to go in and buy merch too. So we run out of the SkyTrain station and we're screaming the whole time while we run down the stairs. In fact, it was so loud that transit police started coming up the stairs to see if someone died or something. But it was just us getting hyped because we got to see Travis Scott.
Yeah.
And then we got in line, went inside. We just went absolutely crazy and we sat in line for an hour to buy this shirt.
You know what's the craziest thing though?
Tell me, what is it?
I'd say this whole story is like it's almost a reflection of life because of how perfectly it creates an image of, or it's like a real version of, it's all about the journey, not the destination. Because during that whole story, think about like, again, we don't really plan too much what we talk about, right? It's just a conversation. So this is just something that I thought about is during that whole story, not once was it important to you about how the concert went. What was crazy that you told everybody is how we got there.
That's crazy.
Like, that is wild.
That is
right?
actually
like,
crazy.
I just thought about that as you were saying. I was like when I tell this story, because I've told people this story at my school too, right? Everyone I tell the story to, I'm never like, the first thing I say isn't, oh my God, the concert was so crazy. The concert was hype and everything. I was like, man, trying to get into that concert
was crazy.
was the craziest thing.
No, that's true. That's true.
Which
and
is
honestly,
so interesting. Yeah.
if you think about it, what makes it so memorable is not just the concert.
Exactly,
it is
yeah.
the process of getting there, right?
Because I remember me and one of our buddies were sitting at the seats because two of us went to the seats and two of them standed in line to get merch. Because I didn't know we didn't know if there was like a cap on how much merch you could buy, so we didn't want to have one person stay there and then end up not being able to buy
all
like
four shirts,
shirts, right? So two of us sat down and we sat there in the stadium and we were just sitting there and everybody's waiting for Travis to come out. And we just look at each other. We're like, bro, how are we even here right now? Like, it still didn't process in our minds. And that's the crazy thing, is that the show was insane. Like, I tell you that is the greatest concert I've ever been to and might ever be to or be able to go to.
Yeah.
It was absolutely phenomenal. Travis is a crazy performer.
Yeah.
But the story of getting there, man, and like, I think that perfectly ties into something that we do want to talk about today. And like, that's the journey of
Yeah.
getting to your goals, right?
True.
And how to stay in love with that journey.
Mhm.
Because the truth is, when people become successful, the first thing that most people ask them is, how did you get there?
That's true.
Not
That's
what
very
it's
true.
like. That's what everybody researches into is, how did this person get there? Because that's what you write about. That's what you tell. It's the story behind the final ending, right? A climax is worthless without the beginning, like
The
the
rising
beginning
action.
Yeah, and everything.
That's
Which is
true.
really, I'd say, is very.
Well, think about it. You study, it's not just because you study a rich person's success because you enjoy like seeing that kind of lifestyle. You study it because you want to replicate it someday, right?
Yeah.
And what are you replicating? Yes, obviously you're trying to replicate getting to that specific goal, but the truth is what you're trying to follow are the steps that the person took to get there, right? So for example, with Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk, what did they do, right? Starting off, they had nothing. So if I were to look at their starting point and see what steps they took to get there, I definitely want to follow those steps to achieve that certain lifestyle, you know?
But what I realized is that the path is so difficult, right? Everybody loves seeing the goal, but trying to get there is like very scary to a lot of people. And it's a quote that I heard from John Lennon. And what he said is, in the end, it's going to be all right. And if it's not all right, then it's not the end. And I was like,
Damn, okay,
wow.
I like that.
Because it's interesting to a lot of people because what happens in your life is you'll hit a roadblock or you can't move forward anymore because you feel stuck. Or no matter how hard you keep pushing to move forward, you're not getting anywhere. What do we all do in that scenario? We break down. We give up. But because we think that that's our destiny, that's our end. That's the ending point. There's nowhere else to go.
Yeah.
But that's just not true because there's always another step to go.
Absolutely.
So a lot of these people that fall into things like depression, instead of thinking, maybe my life will get better, right? Maybe there is another pathway in my life. There's another chapter to my life. They think that this is the end and this is how my life is supposed to end, in misery. But that's not true. Because I think that everybody's story can have a happy ending.
I think everybody's story is supposed to have a happy ending.
Yes, exactly.
It's just a matter of whether you decide to make it happy or not. Because as we discussed on the first episode, emotion and happiness in general, I believe, is much more of the mind than it is the heart.
Yeah.
You know, it's really a difficult topic to grapple with because most people do believe that, hey, my emotions aren't supposed to be rational. They're supposed to be based on the things that happen. But the truth is, you have a lot more control over your emotions than you believe you do. If you wake up and decide today I'm gonna have a good day, chances are you're gonna have a good day. That's
You're
why
gonna have
every
a
day.
better day than you would if
yeah.
you didn't. And
Very
it's
true.
actually really interesting because I saw a video of this guy interviewing somebody. They're just in a mall, right? And what happens is, while they're interviewing, they have the camera up, they're recording their interview. Somebody walks in front of the camera. Now the interviewer, right, the guy who's interviewing the other guy, he says, "Man, it's like these people are so stupid. They're so annoying. They just walk in front of our camera, right?" The other guy, he says, "Don't be mad about it," right? Because what he says, this is the quote, I have to read it because I don't remember exactly, but he says, "Do not attribute to malice what can be attributed to ignorance." Those people that walked in front of the camera are probably just living in their own world.
Mm.
They're living their own life. What they did wasn't intentionally to make you feel bad.
That's
So
true.
you may think this person doesn't like me, this person hates me, that's why they did what they did. But no, they were living their own life, right? When you realize that you are not the main character in other people's story, that's when you realize that, man, you're just an existing person,
That's
right?
actually crazy.
It's the same way in GTA when you're driving your car and you run over some random pedestrian. I mean, of course, it's not that extreme. Okay,
I think that was a
But-
good example. That was a good
but
example.
of course, the person that got run over is gonna be pretty sad. I mean, pretty dead, but pretty sad as well, right? They're gonna think also they would probably feel, man, this person probably hates me. But you've run over 1 million people in GTA, right? So that one person isn't that significant to you.
No, that's true.
And you
that's
didn't
true.
run that person over because they were that person,
Mm.
right? You did it because you were ignorant.
Yeah.
So in the same way, when people do bad things in life, a lot of the time, or rude, the people say
Yeah.
rude or arrogant things, it's not to put you down, but because they don't care about the people around them.
Yeah.
They have no emotion towards you.
That one
right?
makes sense. Yeah. Yeah.
It's not that they feel bad about you, it's that they don't feel good about you.
I like this point you brought up because it's actually something I've been dealing with the past couple of days. Because the whole situation with the people around me, right?
Yeah.
That has been like on my mind a lot lately, and I'm gonna get into that, like not the specifics or anything, but definitely talk about some of the stories involving that in the future. But it's important to know that some of these people who betray you and like turn their backs on you, yeah, I believe that a lot of it can often be attributed to malice or just ill intent. But at the same time, you do have to remember that they're probably just trying to do what's best for them.
Exactly.
And doing what's best for you is honestly the best thing you can do for
Exactly,
yourself,
yeah.
right? That's the thing, because people will often give you advice. People will tell you, oh, you should do this, you should do that. But the truth is, you know yourself better than anybody else, right? And maybe you don't even know who you are, but your idea or your current ideas of who you are still going to be better than your best guess of like who I am, for example, right?
My best advice that I'd ever give to somebody out there who has like a bad friend, for example, if you had a friend that slipped into bad habits, right? And they've been going through a really tough time in their life. They're doing bad things that you know is wrong. And you keep telling them, you keep on telling them, hey, stop doing this, like stop drinking, stop smoking, quit all this stuff. And they refuse to listen and they keep trying to push you away. I'd say stop telling them no, but stand by their side. Because the second that they realize that this is not who they want to be there for them. Don't take what they did to you by ignoring all your advice and say, you know what, I'm going to let them live their life. I'm going to leave them. Because is that really how you want to feel? Because in the end, when that person comes begging for help, do you really want to say, hey, I tried to help you, but you weren't open to it, so I'm going to leave you?
I don't know. That's a tough conversation because what if you invest so much effort into this person because you care about them? They're your friend, right? You wouldn't put in all this effort if it was just some random crackhead on the street,
Yeah.
right? But it's because I know this person or you know this person that you would put in that effort,
I agree.
right? While everyone is on their own journey and everyone is learning as they go along, after you say something a certain number of times and you put in a certain amount of effort, if they still don't listen to you and turn their back on you, can you really?
No, what I'm saying is you step away, right? They tell you that they don't want you around, so you leave. You stop saying things, but you still stay close to their life. But you don't tell them, hey, stop doing this, stop doing that. You just wait. Because one day they will come to a realization. I guarantee it. Everybody does.
Okay, but then when they come to that realization, right? They come back to you and you guys try to be friends. But then what? When something else happens, something dramatic in their life, and they decide to fall back into those bad habits that they decided to stop.
Well,
then
I'd say
what?
that people grow, right? Imagine if you said that about every problem in your life. If suppose that you broke up with your girlfriend and you felt super depressed, and then eventually you get out of it, would you say, "Nah, I don't want to get back into a relationship because I'm probably gonna break up with her again"? No, not the same person. I mean, a different person, right?
I mean,
It's
a
the
lot
same
of
way
people
that
do live their life
you-
like that, though.
you go through a problem to grow.
Hmm.
If you never went through problems in your life, if you never had low points, you never become a better person.
True, true.
So I think that that's a very important topic, is that you need to go through problems in your life to grow.
Hmm.
You need to be broken to get built back up.
I guess, but also there's also this big topic that I want to discuss later, which is cutting out things that don't help you. You know? And I
agree.
don't think that everything needs to be about yourself. You know, you should live for other people at times and definitely help people wherever you can. Like, for example, the story with people who fall into bad habits and you want to help them out, right? Of course, you should stick by them and try your best to help them out, but you still got your own journey to worry about, bro. So,
I'm gonna tell you something though about they made a mistake and now they're coming back for help. You know who never turned somebody away from help?
Uncle Iroh.
Jesus.
Okay, yeah, that's
Think
true.
about, like, we're not religious, but I've been learning a lot about religion lately. And
Okay, you say we're not religious as if we're atheists.
we're not atheists.
Yeah.
Okay, no, we are not. We're just, I don't know what it's called.
I'd say I'm
But
Buddhist for now, at least.
I know, like, one of my teachers from school, he was teaching us about religion. He said, I don't believe in a specific religion, but I'm not an athist. I believe that there are religions out there that
Is
could
there
be
a term
correct.
for that?
There is, but I don't remember what it is.
Nah, that's fine.
Maybe,
Look
actually,
it up.
editor's note. I'm gonna slap it right here for you guys. I'll figure it out.
Yeah, somewhere.
Yeah. However, I think that one thing that people say is, "Oh, if you do a lot of wrong in your life, but Jesus was always there." For example, for Christians, right? Jesus is always there, right? You repent and you become a better person. He never turned people away because they were too bad to be saved.
Hmm.
There's always a way to get better. There's always a way to become a better person. That's
true,
why
yeah.
I would never, ever, ever in my life ever encourage somebody to give up because they think it's too late or I've done too much wrong.
Yeah, okay, that's a very good point. Very good point, yeah.
Right? There was something I saw. You know who Justin Waller is, right?
Yes.
Now, I'm not the biggest fan of him. I think there's certain things that he said. Again, this is a common theme nowadays, is certain things I agree with, certain things I don't. And
Yeah.
one thing he said is a guy asked him for help, but this guy was like in his mid 40s or something like that. And Justin Waller just said, "Oh, just give up. It's too late for you. I can't help you." And that, to me, was sickening.
Is that something he actually said?
That was, yeah, I saw it on I think it was on like on a show or something where they, like somebody, or probably like the YouTube video that they do or something.
That's
where
kinda
people send their
disappointing.
problems. And I was like, what kind of person would ever encourage somebody to give up? Regardless of how far, you could be 90 years old and you're about to die, and I would still say,
Go for your dreams.
go for your dreams. Because it's actually from one of the oldest Prince EA videos. And he said that there was the hospital study that was done on 100 elderly people where they asked what their biggest regret was. And almost all of them said that they regretted not the things they did, but the things they didn't do.
I love that so much.
And I love it because you gotta go.
yeah.
There's so much of life to experience. But the problem is we are so rigid in our ways that sometimes it's so difficult to break off and want to do something else. But that would be my advice to everybody, is that's why people that sit at home with nothing, that live the same life over and over and over again, every single day, right? You get up, you go to your 9 to 5, and you come home, watch Netflix until you fall asleep. And you repeat this process every single day. At the end of your life, you feel no fulfillment because you didn't get to experience all the other things that people did.
Well, yeah, you didn't fulfill any of your dreams.
Exactly. When we're kids, we have such a vast mindset, but as we grow older, we slowly close it up until we can barely see anything, until we have barely any vision, because the people around us tell us that. Think about it. With kids, when you say, "Man, I want to be an astronaut," nobody's ever going to doubt you.
Yeah, no.
"I want to be a firefighter. I want to be I want to be a superhero, right?
They'd still believe in you.
Exactly. But when we grow older, as time passes on, they say, it's too late for that now. You can't do that anymore.
Yeah, other
This is the
people
bad-
will doubt
Exactly.
you. There's always
It's-
going to be haters.
It's interesting because think about when you're a baby, right? And you fall down. What do people do? Like when you get your first step in and you fall down, what do people do? Get back up, get back up.
Yeah.
Come on, try again, try again. You can get 2 steps this time.
Yo, that's crazy.
When you grow up and you fall down, what happens? People laugh.
That's
tell you to stay down.
Crazy. That's
Nobody
crazy.
helps you back up.
Wow. I didn't
Right?
even beg that. That's
I-
crazy.
I was like, wow, this is a crazy concept because how do we not help each other up in the same way?
I'd argue you need it more when you're
Exactly,
an adult.
because it's so much more detrimental. When you're a kid and like those first steps, everybody is so excited. Everybody's like, come on, help him up, help him up. But now it's just stay down. Instead of encouraging you to get up, they encourage you to stay down. And
That's
that's why
crazy.
I'd say it's so important to have the right people around you in your life. Because if you have people that are telling you to stay down, you will never get up.
That's next episode is going to be about people, other people,
Mm.
and like how they affect you and the people you should be around, you know?
Yeah.
Because that's a very, very important
And that's such
part.
a huge part of your life. But for today's episode, how can you continue to keep going? That's
Yeah.
what we should focus on.
And you want to know my biggest point for that?
Yeah.
Is something I discovered, and that's one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to start this, because that one little switch in my brain changed my entire perspective on success, the grind, life in general.
Yeah,
And that is, you need to make the grind enjoyable.
100%.
Now, when I mean enjoyable, I don't mean every second of it needs to be something you love, because then you'll never get anywhere, right?
Exactly.
It doesn't need to be comfortable. Okay, I'd argue it should be very uncomfortable, because growth is uncomfortable. You're leaving what you used to be
Exactly.
and what you used to experience for something greater. But in order to get there, you have to step out of your comfort zone. You got to do things that you've never done before, right? So I'm not saying be comfortable, but be happy to make a change. Be happy to take that step and be happy that you're making progress, right? So many people think that just because, for example, David Goggins, right? He breaks himself down every goddamn day,
Yeah.
right? Jumps in ice cold water with his hands and feet tied, right?
Yeah.
Crazy sociopathic behavior, right? But that's how he calluses his mind, okay? And honestly, I would recommend people to try, maybe not things that crazy, okay?
Yeah, for
But
sure.
definitely try things that you're uncomfortable with or things that suck.
Exactly. For example, now this is something that I say to myself because I haven't been to the gym in a long time. Like I've been out of it. This guy goes to the gym almost every single day, but I've been really out of it. And it's because it's an uncomfortable thing when you start out because you feel this is a funny thing because everybody feels that when you go to the gym, everybody's going to be watching you. But it's funny because nobody ever pays attention to the smallest guy in the gym because everybody's paying attention to the biggest guy in the gym.
Yeah.
When you're making small moves, nobody really notices.
And
It's when
even when you think you're the bigger, like one of the bigger guys, there's still somebody bigger than you.
Exactly.
There's always someone bigger
So
than
there's
you.
always something to chase. But
Exactly.
that's what's crazy to me is that it's such a big reflection of like life. Because for example, when you're making small moves in your life, nobody notices.
Mm-hmm.
But once you've made it, once you have your physique or for example, you have your dream job, then everybody comes to congratulate you. But nobody ever congratulates you on making the first steps. So
Well,
I'd
yeah.
say to the people out there, when you make your first step, be happy that you made a step.
Well, yeah, because nobody else is going to be there to be happy for you
Exactly.
taking that step. Because the truth is, nobody's going to say something if there's nothing to be said, right? Like, if you have nothing to attribute your success to or no success at all, nobody has anything to say, right? If
Yeah.
you're not making a lot of money or if you're not happy with your life, then why should I come up to you and be like, hey, man, I'm proud of you for continuing to go on. But that's, I mean, obviously I'm going to say that because that's what this is about, right?
Yeah.
We want to help bring other people up. So to you out there, if you're watching this and you feel like you're taking steps in the right direction, but of course you don't have other people there to support you, just know that we are proud of you and that we want you guys to keep going,
Exactly.
taking those steps and continuing to enjoy your journey. Because like I said, that's the main thing for this episode is enjoying your progress, enjoying your success, right? Because it's not a 1-day trip. It's not a 2-day
Exactly.
trip. It's a lifelong journey to
Exactly.
success. And if you don't enjoy it, it's just like you mentioned. I'm pretty sure you talked about this on the first episode when you said the guy who talked about, I will be happy once I do this.
Yeah.
Right? And the truth is, you got to be happy while you do it.
Exactly.
I get up every day in the morning, right? Sometimes I don't want to get up, but that doesn't mean I'm not happy to get up and get to work.
That's crazy to me because what's one of the hardest things for people to do in the morning is get out of bed.
Yeah.
But again, there are people out there don't get the opportunity to even get out of bed. So be happy that you're able. Like, for example, imagine somebody that can't walk, or somebody that's bedridden that can't move, or somebody on their deathbed right now waiting to pass away. They don't have the luxury of being able to even get up out of bed. You do. So be grateful that you're able to take that step.
That's true.
And
Very
be
true.
so happy about the journey and path that you're on right now. Now, another thing I wanted to talk about is motivation versus discipline. Because this is a problem that gets caught up in a lot of young people's minds, or even actually everybody's mind, is that they believe that they need to be motivated all the time. But the best way that I put it when I talk about it is that imagine you're a car. Motivation is what turns on your engine, but discipline is what keeps your foot on the gas. And you'll never move without discipline. That's the truth.
True.
Because motivation gets you running. It gets you up and started, but it doesn't get you to move.
It doesn't keep you.
It doesn't keep you moving. Exactly. Because you'll start, maybe you'll accelerate for a little, but without discipline, you're going to slow down. You're going to end up in the exact same spot.
Yeah.
Because that's the problem. Imagine that life is a road imagine like a treadmill, right? You know, it keeps on moving. So if you don't keep moving with it, you're going to fall behind. So with life keeps on moving. Every morning, the sun's going to get up, right? Every night, the sun's going to go down.
Yep.
Regardless of if you are happy or sad that day, or whether you made any good decisions or bad decisions, regardless of what you do, the next day is coming,
Yep.
right? So if you spend your whole life sitting back and watching it go by instead of doing anything, you're wasting so much precious time every single day, right?
But
And
the thing is, I feel like so many people take discipline and see it as my life needs to suck every single day
yeah,
so that I
100%.
can be happy later.
Yeah.
No, just because you're disciplined and you go to the gym every day, you bust your ass for 10 hours a day, you work really hard, right? Just because you do that doesn't mean that you have to be unhappy for the years that
Exactly.
you're doing that, or just in general, right? Because think about it. You and I are on a path to stratospheric success. We want to achieve things that are beyond the scope of what many people dream of, right? But to do that, it doesn't mean that I need to skip every single thing. Of course, I stay very reserved in terms of going out. I don't like to go out and party and stuff. I don't do any of that because I'm on the grind, obviously. But every once in a while, to enjoy something with my friends, like going to a Travis
Exactly.
Scott concert,
Yeah.
right? A once in a lifetime experience type of beat, I will go and do those things, right? And now look at that. I have a story to tell all of our subscribers out there, our viewers, right? And I have stories to tell my kids, and I have stories to tell my friends, right? Yes, you should stay disciplined. Yes, you should work really hard. And I'm not saying take it easy whatsoever. Work hard, but don't take it as a reason to be mad or upset or just say your life sucks.
It's crazy to me because like I work at McDonald's and some of the people that I work with are working at 2 jobs while going to school. And they go from work to school to another job and then they do the same thing every single day. But somehow when I get into work, these people are still smiling. Because they understand that that's their life right now, but they're happy to be on that path because they're happy to still enjoy life.
Yeah, and it does just because you're at a certain place now doesn't mean that you're going to be there forever.
Exactly.
That's why I hate it when people knock on others for working a job. Have you ever seen that clip of that girl who looks at a guy and she kind of likes him and she's like, "Oh, what do you do for work?"
Oh,
and
yeah,
he's
he's
working
a-
a job, and people start laughing. I'm pretty sure the girl jumps to
Yeah,
his defense and
she's
says,
a-
"Why are you guys laughing? He's got something going for him."
Yeah.
Right? And the truth is, people have developed this misconception that everyone needs to be a business owner, like we talked on the first episode, right?
It's stupid.
It's not like that, right? You can work a job right now if that's the best course of action for you, which is another thing that we talked about. The best course of action for you. Even the advice we give, I'd argue that we say relatively sensible things.
Yeah.
But if you hear something that you don't agree with, first of all, dispute it in the comments. Let us know that you disagree with us and explain your reasoning, because I'm going to read it and I'm going to be like, "Oh, that's interesting." And who knows, maybe I'll give you a shout out and actually put you in the next episode, like
Yeah.
slap your comment right here or something like that and say, "Oh, this person said this. We're going to talk about it." But the truth is, my biggest advice would be never follow somebody's word blindly, because you have to test it on your own to believe it. For example, if I say, if you get out of bed today and you say, "Today's going to be a great day," every day for a month, your life will get twice as good as it is now,
100%.
right? If I say that, I don't want you to just be like, oh, he said it, so I'll do it. No, I want you to try it and then tell me, how do you feel? Do you feel better?
Exactly.
And if not, okay, then you don't have to do it because it doesn't work for you.
As much as we may wish that there was something called universal advice, there isn't.
Mm.
Everything is subjective because, again, humans are not the same. Everybody is different. Especially when you take a species that is so highly intelligent, right? Humans are extremely highly intelligent.
Yeah.
So, due to that, our brains all work differently. So, we all see things in a different way. We perceive things differently. Like, think about how many conflicts there are in this world. Think about all the massive conflicts, and there's always somebody on either side.
Well, yeah, look at the biggest one right now. The whole world is watching Israel Palestine.
Yeah.
Like, I'm definitely going to keep on bringing this up every couple of episodes or so, even though I don't really want to. But it's just a really good example because to some people, they see Palestine is completely in the right. And I'm not going to give my personal opinion here because I don't want to polarize our comment section and go crazy. But of course, there's still going to be people who see Israel as right because at the end of the day, you have Palestinian people, you have Israelis. So obviously, each side is going to root for its own people, right?
Exactly.
And it's a difficult topic to cover, but the truth is, life itself is subjective. So advice, therefore, for any problem will be subjective.
Exactly. That's why people that go out there and see all these motivational people and think, this is exactly how I want to do things, that's not the way to go about your life. It's to take those things and then apply them in your own life.
In your own way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because again, never, ever, ever get caught up trying to live somebody else's life. That is the main problem.
Yep.
Because everybody sees the millionaire billionaires are like, man, I'm going to drop out of school just so I can start a business. So I can start my e-commerce business. Am I saying that's a bad idea?
Next thing you know, you do $100 in sales on Shopify and you're down $500.
Exactly. Because you didn't finish school. Yeah. Everybody thinks that, for example, all these people nowadays that are portraying this idea that school is bad. And I say, this is actually something that Mr. Not School, Andrew Tate, said.
No way.
And it was actually very crazy. He was talking to a kid, and this kid skipped school to come see him. And he talks to the kid, and he says, hey, man, don't skip school. Because regardless of whether what school is teaching you is valid, what they actually teach you as a person is very different. The educational material and what they actually what they educate students on versus what they teach students are two different things. For example, they teach punctuality. Being on time to school is very important. Attending class is important. Having good attention span is important in school. These are things that they do teach. It's just the problem is that nobody wants to think about those.
That's kind of crazy. Yeah, you do have to take the other side of things because it's not
Exactly.
always just the face value that you're getting.
Mhm.
You are going to get something slightly beyond that, right? And when it comes to building values, you develop that through a certain activity. For example,
Exactly.
biggest one, martial arts. Okay, many people will say, "Oh, you go to martial arts just to work, just to learn how to kick and fight and stuff like that." No, my friend, no. And as I've probably mentioned, oh no, we didn't talk about it yet. Me and my brother have both done martial arts for about, how long was it? 7 years?
7 or 8 years.
7 or 8 years. And we both achieved our black belts in Taekwondo. It was a grueling journey.
Yeah.
But the truth is, I didn't just learn how to punch and kick people. I didn't learn how to break wooden boards and, try to break bricks, right? That's not what I learned how to do. What I learned was perseverance, discipline, integrity. Those are the types of qualities that you build when you do certain activities along your journey.
Exactly. Everybody looks at things for face value. But what's most important is what's the underlying value? What flies under the radar that you don't notice? For example, in school, what is one of the biggest problems people have nowadays is public speaking. That's one of the
true,
biggest
yeah.
fears on this planet is public speaking.
Really?
Yeah. I'm 99% sure. We can fact check it.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
I'm pretty sure that it is
No,
one of
but
the
that's
biggest
actually
fears.
crazy because so many people are like, the worst day for me is a day where I have a presentation at school.
Which is crazy to me because for me, we did Toastmasters for a long, long time.
Yeah.
And we both learned how to speak publicly very well. Now, when I go to do a presentation in school, it feels like a no-brainer. I feel zero stress. Some days I literally don't prepare a script or anything. I just freestyle whatever I want
To
to
be
say.
honest, I wish that my school had presentations that I could do just so I could go up there, freestyle the whole thing, and do better than most people because I know I can do it.
It's interesting. Okay, again, not trying to be egotistical when you say that.
Well, yeah,
but it's a simple
obviously,
statement
yeah.
of a fact. When I run a club with a bunch of other people, and we did a orientation meeting for all the members, and everybody was panicking in our chat like, guys, I don't know what to write, I don't know what I'm gonna say, and they're all freaking out. And then they asked me, they're like, oh, what are you gonna write down, like what are you gonna say? And I was like, I don't really know, I guess I'll just figure it out as I read as I look, as I'm there, because I've developed that skill. And that's something that takes such a big like stress off of my life. A lot of people, that's a big stress for them, and that's a big thing in your entire life. Like public speaking, for example, you want to talk to your boss about getting a pay raise.
That's
you're gonna want to be able
speaking.
to talk.
Yep.
You're gonna want to be able to speak.
Absolutely.
If you have to give a presentation for a business, you have a business idea. Now imagine if you dropped out of school and you'd have no idea how to create a proper presentation or how to speak formally. These are skills that are taught to you in school. It's just that you don't take them to heart because you don't realize that you're learning them.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's why you need to make sure that you follow the right path. Follow the right
Exactly.
path for you, okay? And obviously enjoy it as you do it. Like in school, bro, let's be honest. People say, oh, man, high school sucked. I hated it. But then the second you get out of high school, buddy,
Exactly.
it gets real.
It's
it gets
so
real.
funny because everybody in elementary school is, I wish I could go to high school.
Mhm.
Everybody in high school is, I wish I was still in elementary school. Everybody in university says, I wish I was still in high school.
But while you're in it,
Then
you wish
you-
that you'd be anywhere but here.
Exactly.
That's
but when
crazy.
you're gone, you miss it so badly. It's
Exactly.
the same way. Fortnite.
Get out, bro. Get
I'm
out.
not
I'm
joking.
ending the episode right
I'm
here.
telling
Get
you,
out. Get
just listen.
I'm not playing Fortnite.
People didn't care about the OG map until it was gone. What happened when it came back? People didn't miss the OG map until it's gone. People didn't appreciate it being there.
I don't think that's
No,
that's a
the-
good
that-
example.
okay,
Dude,
but-
think about it this way. Realistically, why people appreciate the OG map is because the new map was garbage. That's why.
Exactly. So think about life. High school was garbage. So they wanted the old map. They wanted the
damn it.
elementary school map. But that chapter's gone.
So all you can do is enjoy this chapter.
Exactly.
Damn.
It's in the past.
He actually did get a Fortnite analogy
I
on me.
did
That's
get a Fortnite
crazy.
analogy.
That's
Ticked
crazy.
off the bucket list.
Okay, buddy.
Go to
still,
the Fortnite analogy.
still, all right. Forget the Fortnite analogy. Big
Mm.
point is, so many people want to say, "I wish I was here. I wish I was
Yeah.
here." Bro, just enjoy where you are and work hard to get to the next step. I feel like that's such a hard line for us to walk with talking about this because, on one hand, some people will say these guys are softies. They clearly don't want to work on the same things I want to work on. But then other people will say, "Oh, I like the way they talk because clearly they're within the realm of reality. You know, like
Exactly.
they're not delusional."
I think that the problem is there's two sides to life, and you have to find the keyword.
Balance.
Boom. Balance, boom.
Okay.
Cool alliteration. But the thing is, balance, boom, but.
Okay.
The
Calm down.
realliteration.
Calm down, buddy.
However,
Calm down, buddy. Oh my
oh
god.
my God.
Oh my god. Okay,
But there's a
alright.
line, and above the line is all your hard work, right? All the stuff that you want to do to succeed, right? The things that take discipline.
Mhm.
And then on the other side of the line is the time it takes to enjoy life. The problem is there are people that end up on either side of the spectrum, right? You don't want to be too far on one side, you don't want to be too far on the other. But the thing is, you don't want to be in the middle. You don't want to be on the line.
Yeah, no.
Because in the line, you don't move in either direction.
That's true, yeah.
So what you want to do is, I'd say closer to the beginning when you're young, you wanna be-
Prioritize the discipline.
you want to be on the discipline side.
Absolutely, yeah.
But still, again, maybe make it 70-30.
I mean, I'd say it depends on your goal,
Exactly.
right? If you want to be a millionaire, billionaire, honestly,
It's got to be like 90-10.
that's what I'm
Right?
saying. I want it to be 90-10
I
for
would
me
say
too,
90-10 for a lot of people that want to hit success at a young age. But for example, assume you want just a stable job, you invest in your pension, and then
You have a family
when
and
you're
you live your life.
exactly. And again, there is nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
That's the problem with today's media is everybody is throwing at you that you need to be a millionaire. You don't. You need
If
to be
you're
happy.
Yes, yes.
That's the most important thing. If you're not happy with $1 billion, what was the point of getting that $1 billion?
exactly.
Because money doesn't bring you happiness.
Because again, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I know everything going on in Elon Musk's head.
Yeah.
But if you look at Elon Musk's, no body shaming or anything like that. This guy works so hard for his company. That's why he doesn't have the time to go and get in shape and live out his life.
Yeah.
Right? Whenever he decides to give up SpaceX and Tesla and all that,
Which I doubt will be anytime
will
soon.
be anytime soon, right? Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, that's what
That's-
he loves.
exactly.
That's what he loves. So to him, that's happiness. That's success. That's everything he ever dreamed of, right? So to him to live in those factories, to work hard every single day,
That's just part of his life.
part of his life.
Which is interesting because then to him, working falls under both discipline and enjoyment.
Yeah.
And that's what you want to make your life. You want to make it so that what you do for your work is still enjoyable.
Yeah.
Because the most miserable people are the people that have all discipline. Well, even not even all discipline, but being forced to work somewhere that they don't like.
Yeah.
That's the problem, is that everybody works somewhere they don't want to work.
Well, the thing is, if you do something you love for work, you won't work a day in your life. That's like one of the most basic quotes ever, right?
Exactly, yeah.
But the power and truth in it is astronomical. Because
Yeah.
look at this, right? With a podcast or any form of content creation, if you love it, it doesn't feel like a job, because this isn't a job
Exactly.
to me. I'm not doing this to make money, obviously. But if I did, I wouldn't complain, right?
It's just that's the effect.
Exactly, yeah.
Right.
It's not the reason why I do it. It's not
Exactly.
the cause for
It's
me
exactly
starting this.
cause and effect, right? People think that the cause should be money, that
No.
what you're striving for is money. No, your cause should be success.
Yeah.
But success is not defined by money; it's defined by happiness.
Exactly. And for example, if your goals are to have $1 million, a family, and a nice house, if you work super hard and make $10 million, but you can't get a girl and keep her to save your life, you're losing on one aspect of your success and your dream life.
Exactly.
So that's not true success.
But I'd say the most important thing is understand your cause. The cause is to be happy, but make sure you realize that on your path there's an effect to the path that you take. People say that they drink to be happy, but what's the effect that drinking has on your life?
That's a good one.
Exactly.
Detrimental, yeah.
Now, if you think that you'll be happy by making however much X amount of money, what's the effect of that? Is that maybe you don't get to have as many friends or people around you that you will cherish. Right? It's interesting because I believe that you shouldn't make your life all about money. And there's actually a poem by, actually I'll save that until after I read it.
Okay, am I going to
But-
be able to guess it?
You do know who it is. I showed this to you actually.
Oh, really? Okay.
But the poem says,
oh, I already know it. Okay.
friendship is a priceless gift that cannot be bought nor sold, but its value is far greater than a mountain made of gold. For gold is cold and lifeless. It can neither see nor hear. In time of trouble, it's powerless to cheer. It has no ears to listen, no heart to understand. It cannot bring you comfort or reach out a helping hand. So when you ask God for a gift, be thankful if he sends not diamonds, pearls, or riches, but the love of real true friends. And who said it?
Mr. Muhammad Ali, the GOAT, the legend
Exactly.
himself.
And I think it's a perfect tie to this because it teaches you the truth that money is important, but what's more important is the people in your life.
Mhm.
Because people are the thing that will bring you the most amount of happiness, gratitude, and success in your life.
Well, if you think about it, a person is priceless,
Exactly.
right? A true friend is priceless.
Mm-hmm.
The emotions and conversations that you can experience together are genuinely more valuable than gold, like he said.
Exactly.
Think about it. The four of us going to that Travis Scott concert, right?
Yeah.
Even to this day, I feel like first of all that brought the four of us closer together. I mean, we're already like best friends, but
Yeah.
still, the four of us now have
It's
a
another
bond.
exactly, and it's another experience.
Another experience that we can talk about, we can share with others, and
Exactly.
we'll remember forever, right? And think about it. Standing there on that SkyTrain platform, praying to God that we get 4 tickets, right? Wouldn't have been the same if I was just trying to get one.
Exactly.
It wouldn't have been
Wow.
as exciting, right? It was
Yeah.
because I had you and 2 other friends there that the 4 of us jumped up and down with joy and ran,
Exactly.
right? If it was just me, cool, I got a ticket, I get to go in. I'm happy, yeah, of course, but not as happy as I would be if I was with my friends. So yes, I say define your goal and understand where you want to be. Understand what you need to commit, what kind of time you have to commit, what kind of effort you have to commit, what you have to lose and sacrifice, and then get after it.
And something
on the
interesting is it's a, we'll say, proverb,
Okay?
and it's nice to drive a Ferrari, but make sure that you have somebody in the passenger seat. Because if there's nobody there with you, what
kinda
was
lame.
really the point?
Yeah, very true. But that's also important because you need to remember to cherish the ones who were there
Exactly.
when you were driving the Accord.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Can't forget that. Can't forget the ones who were there for you early. Because I think the most arrogant and disappointing thing is when somebody you were rooting for becomes successful and then forgets about you.
Exactly. I think that you don't need to drive. If somebody is there and they choose to not do anything with their life, but you continue to do things with yours, and suppose that you make it and they don't, you should still suppose that you're flying around in private jets and you're going to all these crazy countries and stuff and you're hanging out with all your rich friends. Still take the time to go down to McDonald's and grab a Big Mac with this friend. Because don't forget where you started.
True.
Right? Never forget your roots. That's what they always say.
But that doesn't mean that you are obligated to show kindness to people who clearly didn't reciprocate that kindness early on.
But if that person was always there for you, they always believed in you,
then
you don't leave them.
Absolutely. Have you ever seen that clip of J. Cole in the kitchen with that family that supported him early on in his career? No. I'm pretty sure that it was posted on Instagram or something like that. But he goes and has dinner with this family because they helped him out a lot when he was in his younger days. So he just goes and hangs out with them and talks to them and stuff like that. Exactly. And it felt so weird because, first of all, I'm not 100% sure if I'm remembering this correctly, but it was a Brown family. And J. Cole is in the kitchen eating rice with his hands. And I was like, oh my God, what a goat, right? Like, I just remember. And honestly, J. Cole is one of those people who's so humble, bro.
Yeah,
so
I know.
humble.
You see him around, like, in Los Angeles riding around on his bike to get to places.
That's crazy. I totally forgot about that.
Oh my God. I was like, wow, that was crazy.
But you want to know something interesting, though? J. Cole is if Bob Marley and modern rap had a baby.
You know, if I'm going to be honest, I have never listened to Bob Marley.
I haven't. Okay, first of all, we've heard like a famous like snippet of a song by him, of course. But if I think more so about his mentality, because Bob Marley once had an interview. The guy said, "Are you rich?" He said,
"Oh yeah, I know what you mean."
What do you mean by rich? And then the guy said, "Do you have a lot of money?" He said, "A lot of money make you rich?" No, right? Yeah. And his whole mentality was that money isn't the only thing that will make you rich. It's the memories, the happiness, and the friends around you that you cherish, right? And think about that, and then mix that with the humility and modern rap, and you get J. Cole. Yeah. Honestly, J. Cole is definitely up there for one of my favorite, I'd say, people in the world because he's a role model.
Exactly. Role model.
No, oh my God. Okay, that was unintentional. That was unintentional, I swear. Huh? I swear that was unintentional.
But yeah, it circles back to one of, I think, his best songs ever, Love Yours. Which I don't see enough people talk about, but I love this song. Yep. Because first off, just the meaning behind it is absolutely absurd.
Absolutely.
And one thing he says is, always going to be a bigger house somewhere, but N-word, feel me. Long as the people in that MF love you dearly. Right? We're keeping it clean for the families out there.
Always keeping it clean, yep.
And that shows you that, what we just said, people are more important than money.
Always, bro.
And that is something we're going to talk about, or continue to talk about,
on the next episode of Brighter Horizons.
Exactly.
However, as we approach the end of this episode, the last thing we will leave you guys with is always remember, your journey is unique. You are on this path to success. But don't take that as an opportunity to hate your life. Exactly. Be happy. Love every single day because you don't know when it will be your last. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on episode
4? Or is it
3?
3,
Sorry, brother.
I can't
3.
Count. I can't
this
count.
Guy.
Whoa,
episode 3 of the Brighter Horizons podcast. But as always, tell me, what time is it?
It's time for quote
of
the
week, baby. Let's go. So this quote, basic and overused in my opinion. To be honest, I didn't want to use this, but it is definitely the most applicable quote here. Definitely the one that makes the most sense to use, and I'm sure everybody has heard it because a very popular guy used it very recently in one of his videos. And that is, the man who loves walking will walk further than the man who loves the destination. I don't know the exact person who wrote this quote originally. I've seen it by 7 different people. But for now, I'm going to give credit to the boy Sulek because he posted the video with it. So for now, Sam Sulek, you get the credit for this quote, even though technically you didn't make it. Doesn't matter.
But anyways, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to episode 3 of the Brighter Horizons podcast.
We love you guys.
Yes.
Thank you for tuning in.
Make sure to debate respectfully in the comments.
Yep.
And we'll catch you next week on episode number 4. See you guys. Peace out.
What? You messed up the outro.
I forgot to say...
Live a positive life. Put the headphones back on. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back with the outro.
Yeah,
Hit 'em.
I forgot to tell you guys. Make sure you live a positive life. Peace out.
There we go.